Wildman here, coming to you straight from Kentucky, South Central Kentucky. I'm here today to talk to you about chert. What is chert? Not to be confused with chit, not to be confused with anything dirt or anything else like that. Chert is chert. Step over here with me. This, my friends, is what is commonly called in the Geological Society, if you can see it very well, as chert. Notice the sandstone silicate makeup that forms this little puppy. However, the sad part is this is not just your ordinary chert. Come with me and I'll be glad to show you. Pardon the crude composition of my photo here. This is just what looks like a general rock. This can easily be defined as what is commonly called chert. Chert is actually a compilation of silicate materials that form together and make up all kinds of nifty things, including stuff that makes up a rock similar to this. Notice the flint-like compilation in the middle. That would be chert. However, through permineralization, we have actually found that this chert seems to have more of define and definition than previously anticipated. This, if you will observe, looks like just a rock. However, the black matter on top of this rock that appears and the signature on the back seem to be more indicative of something that used to be a kneecap of a very large creature. This could have been, well, could have been many different things, but there's not enough definition to show other than it has some meat substance where biological material has decomposed against it. This one we can call chert for the sake of argument. The only sad part about calling everything chert in this part of the country is the mere fact that some of this chert seems to bear a remarkable resemblance to that of a femur. Yes, same rock material, same patterns, same everything, but unfortunately what we have here is what looks more like a femur bone from something very large. The distal, the bottom end of a femur, which would be right here, near the knee. Now this puppy right here is defined also as chert. Notice the size of this bugger. Notice that it has black material on it, which is composition, decomposed organic matter. This particular item was listed as chert because they couldn't find anything better to call it. Actually, when you look at what I'm actually digging at, which we'll get to in a minute, this looks more like it's the upper hip bone. This is the upper femur. This is what locked into that back joint. But it's chert, keep that in mind. The scholars said so themselves. This is called chert. Even though it bears a remarkable resemblance, scary as it may be, to a form of a shoulder socket. Could be, might not be. Maybe I just have an extremely overactive imagination. This right here is more resemblance. This piece bears more resemblance to that of a vertebrae. But I guess since it's all defined as chert, I guess we could call this a chertebrae. And it's funny because I have parts that actually match this puppy. Skin texture and all, and if you notice there is skin embedded on this. Another piece of chert, quote unquote. Kind of looks more like a leg bone to me, or some sort of an ankle bone for something very huge, and it looks as if it walked this way and had a pivot, and its leg came up off like this. But once again, according to the professionals, the Kentucky Geological Society, University of Louisville archaeologists, many others, including the Smithsonian, have called this all chert. Nothing more. Rubbish. I don't have anything here. This, as you can see, had organic matter inside at one point in time. Right now it is still partially filled with clay, which is where I dug it from. You can clearly see where it was attached to something here that came up off. This looks as if it might have been something like a heel bone, and this comes off into more of a toe area. Maybe I think I just have an overactive imagination, but you know what they say. Overactive imaginations only get us into trouble. That being said, take a look over here at my workshop. I'm currently trying to see if I can dissolve the inorganic matter away from this guy. He's actually got bone structure inside, and this is only part. There's the other half. And I'm not picking that up, so don't even think about it. But if you look here, you can see where it actually has definition. You look inside of here, the tooth to it is laying over on the ground. They seem to have got separated. And the funny part is, for something that's a piece of inorganic rock, how in the world does it ever possess something called a tooth? That we'll never know. Here would be the actual tooth that came out of that. And if you notice here, when I line this thing up just right, we have an identical lineup for this point. Well, if I had it leaned just a little bit, look at them. Let me zoom this in so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There we go. Now if you look at the patterns in this random rock, might I add, and then you look at the patterns of this random rock, you will see that this has a bump here and a flat spot here. This has a ridge here and a flatter spot here, and it sits on there just perfect. Imagine that. But this is chert, mind you. Has no form of structure, no form of anything else. It's just random garbage. Ah, crap, I didn't get it. Okay. There we go. Once again, I'll show. Here we have dirt structured. Here we have structured. And this actually sits right here, which marks either the front or back of what looks like a mouth. This big boy attaches to that big boy. Give me 1 second and I'll show you exactly how these two connect together. Now, with just a little moving of that, look what I have just put together. Two pieces that make up the better part of one head. Imagine that. A few of my samples that I have up here where I live. How about let's go down to the dig site. Let's see where I've got all of these pieces that are just random pieces of dirt. See if maybe we can figure out where they came from. Now I've got to warn you. These little buggers, when you disturb dinosaur bones, they get real vicious. They can come after you, and before you know what you've been hard, they've got you. So what we've got to try to do is see if we can sneak up on some. Yeah. Watch. Over here's where they're hiding. I saw them snaking in there. Crikey! Me throat! Oh! Woo! Anyhow, all that aside, I'm going to take you off of the pedestal here. Had to throw that part in. It was just too darned amusing. Look at me, I'm filthy! Anyhow, more remnants of chert that just bear a remarkable resemblance to something that's been alive at some point in time. Grab me camera here. And I'll show you what I've been digging. Now, if you look right in through here, this is where I started digging a lot of these buggers at. A tidbit moist in this area. These are all miscellaneous pieces of quote-unquote chert. If you notice, some of these actually have some definition. Haven't been cleaned up or anything. In this spot right here, I'm digging up something. I don't know what on Sam's Hill it is. I'm pretty positive this is something to do with something very large. Over here is even more. You've got a structure here in the ground where you got bones sticking out in the shape of what appears to be a pelvis I've shattered with my backhoe when I was digging. And then if you come over here, you can see that there's rib and possibly chest plate here that have been shredded by the darn backhoe. And right here, this little bugger sure bears a remarkable resemblance to the front foot, front leg of something really big, like a mammoth or a mastodon. Most likely an American mastodon. But according to the scientists, this is none more most likely than just something called chert. Not only do I have these wonderful artifacts in this spot, but what you're about to see is something that might even just blow your minds. Because if you look right in here, you'll see there are more patterns of chert where I've been digging. And I've been told to dig and not even think anything of it. And as you can see, this bugger's got definition. Kind of hard to dig and hold a camera at the same time. My apologies for going off the camera there. Okay. Now, there's another piece. I've already dug this one up. The problem with a lot of these bones in this climate is they actually, if you look carefully, look through the mud, you can see this was most likely something that was alive, not just random chert. We've got definition of a bone here, a ridge here, a bone here, and some kind of a bone there, most likely part of a shoulder blade. We've got all kinds of wonderful remnants that I buried here in my pile. Including this big boy. Not sure which part this would be. I haven't cleaned it up yet enough to even check it out. But I would venture to say, with a structure like that, that's not just random junk. And that's not the best of it. Walk over here with me. You can see remnants of all kinds of miscellaneous pieces. Some of these are just chert. Some of these are not chert. And I'm being told by the alleged scholars that this stuff is all just random rubbish. So, it all comes down to, these are just a few, ever so few minor samples of what I've been digging up and destroying. Because dinosaurs, or prehistoric animals, allegedly did not walk this ground. I hope you all have enjoyed the show. I know I had fun making it. But if there's anybody out there thinks they might find a dinosaur, don't give up. Or some sort of a large mammal that is long since extinct. Please don't give up. I want you to know that this is my official documentation saying I found what I believe to be remnants of large animals that previously existed on this earth. Even though the experts keep saying, oh no, 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 that's just chert. Random bullcrap, yada, yada, yada. You know what? Eyes can't lie. This is Wildman saying good day.